Yeah. Good morning, Neil. How are you,
What's
sir?
up, buddy? And how are you doing, sir?
All right. We are. I'm in Florida. I don't know if you knew that this week.
You did mention something. I didn't believe it. I am still in Iowa, just in case anybody's wondering where I'm at. So yes.
Sure. And so the people are probably already noticing that there's another good-looking fellow like creeping over my shoulder over here, off to camera left. And since we're in Florida, decided that so my dad's also was a firefighter, just like your father was, and
Yes.
He is now since he was a firefighter in Iowa as well. He has since retired and lives down in Florida. So we're living the Florida lifestyle. I was here for a work conference and scooted over to Daytona Beach to see these guys and figured that I'd bring him on as a special guest since he could probably share some stories from his time on the job too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to have you. You know, we've had some comments saying like, hey, when are you guys going to have some guests? And I told a couple of them, that, hey, you have to go through a real stringent series of questions to see if you're the right caliber for this show. So, obviously, you passed the test.
We'll see if I last.
Yeah, the first test was to have literally have one of the kids on the show.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Right on. Glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
So I was scrolling through the news feed down here in Daytona Beach, and you asked when I told you I was going to be in Daytona Beach if we would have like the Baywatch cast, like if we would be on the beach and having people running behind us.
Yeah.
Well, I've been told Daytona Beach was in its heyday. In 1988, 1987?
Probably from like the 70s and the 80s, because I remember my aunt, I don't know, went down for Daytona Beach for spring break or whatever. And I don't know if you remember, but all the guys were wearing like those half t-shirts. They were literally just like half t-shirts.
Cut-off t-shirts?
It was like literally a half t-shirt. And I made my aunt buy me a half t-shirt that said Daytona Beach on it. Favorite t-shirt ever.
You probably still have that somewhere. I've seen your wardrobe.
I'm pretty sure I lost that in one of the divorces. So yeah, probably.
All right. I know I'm going to go down to Surf Style Beach Shop over on the beach here, and after this show, and I'm going to talk or find you one of those shirts.
A half shirt. And a half shirt.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
I'll buy. In fact, if I find them, I'll buy two. And we'll surprise this audience here in a couple of weeks.
All right. You might not want to see my big fat belly, but I'll sport it. Trust me.
What size shirt are you wearing these days?
Extra
I got to know. All right. But in a half shirt, it's got to be a medium then. Yeah. So the other thing, I heard that the people running up and down the beach don't look like the Baywatch folks. So we decided to keep it a little bit more quiet, contained here, but we're still enjoying our Coronas with limes, like we're on the beach.
Nice.
So why not? But I was just telling you before we came on, just out of happenstance, I saw a news story about a rock concert here in Daytona Beach a week ago. That I hadn't heard this story yet, but the lead singer was peeing on the fans' face, and the lead singer, I'll have you know, is a woman. So that was right?
Well, okay, you didn't tell me that earlier, so that's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, there's pictures of it out on the internet if you want to find about that. The band has since apologized that it probably should not have peed on a fan's face while the concert.
So was the fan offended, or
I think the fan hopped up. I think other people were offended for the fan hopped up on stage. No, the fan even hopped up on stage and like laid down on the stage. The fan was full willing participant of this.
So yeah, you can't,
But people got offended by it, and then the band has to apologize. But,
of course.
Yeah.
It's always those public apologies that are the hardest. How about some free concert tickets next time? We'll call it good.
Right. Right.
I'll sit you in the nosebleed seat so you don't get offended by anything else.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I guess things still do get wild down there in Daytona then.
It has the potential. Apparently Bike Week is still a big deal though, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Bike Week is huge.
Bike weekend, same thing with the Daytona 500 weekend, isn't it?
Oh,
yes. Yes.
They
have a lot of events here.
Yeah.
They have Jeep Week, Truck Week.
Jeep Week, okay.
Yeah, we have do Bike Week twice a year, once in October and another one in the spring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trying to double down on it.
Gee,
one for the front wheel, one for the back.
I wonder what kind of scenes are at Bike Week. Leave that to the imagination.
Half t-shirts up and down the man.
Oh yeah. Half of a half.
Yeah, half of a half. So we were actually reminiscing a little bit before we went live about how you mentioned that your dad, when he was in the fire service, was riding tailboard.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that don't know what riding tailboard is, that's the old pictures you see of the firefighters literally hanging onto the back of the fire truck on the back bumper going down the road, right? And so you said you did that too when you started.
Yeah, I did that when I first started. I loved it. It was great.
A little
You had
different
to hang
experience.
on, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Did you put a belt on or anything, or just hold
no
on?
belts? No belts. You wrapped your arm around the bar.
see now, where my dad was, they had a rope that would hang on that top bar, and they had a rope. And I remember just standing there, and there was a buzzer that the guy in the back where the driver would hear like one button, one hit the buzzer, stop, and two is go. So that's how they actually communicate, was a buzzer. I remember that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we'd wrap our arm around the bar and there was a cover over the hose bed. You'd put that up, especially in the wintertime, so you'd at least be fairly warm back there going down to a call.
Right. Yeah.
It's a different ball game now. Now the truck literally won't go out of park until everybody's seated and buckled up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not far off, but
you're heating, your air conditioning, so yes, try to make it comfortable.
There's also stories of you riding
in safety,
open,
so
right? Yeah.
We had
safety's always in the top 3, right?
Right.
Yeah, we had jump seats were open. The cab was enclosed, so the officer and the driver were enclosed, and the rest of the firefighters sat in open seats in the back, facing backwards.
Yeah.
So you just sit out in the elements.
And
that's crazy.
And in the city that he was in, I feel like I remember a story that at one point, like you were driving down, there's an interstate that had a bridge. There's a bridge, interstate bridge, and the road was sitting next to it. And the driver would, is this a correct story? Am I hitting on something?
Story,
all right,
yeah.
You want to take it?
So it was a road out of the station that went right underneath the curve on the interstate. And the driver, I was not in that vehicle. I was standing at the station, but I saw this happen. And the driver drove, and he saw this snowplow up on the interstate pushing snow. And as they push the snow, it just comes off the interstate. Well, he timed it so that when he went under that interstate, it hit the firefighter sitting in that back seat. They were covered in snow and drove right through it.
Yeah, see those are shenanigans right there. Yeah,
that's exactly.
Yeah. Nothing like that ever would have happened while we were on working. I mean,
right.
We didn't have any raised interstates that we could do anything like that, so we just resorted to the old-fashioned bucket of water on the roof kind of trick.
Yeah.
But and that's the beautiful part about the fire service. People look at shows like Tacoma FD and that kind of stuff, and the shenanigans are a real part of it. I mean, it transcends generations, right? And so you can laugh and share stories like that. All the time. He said he was standing outside the firehouse. You know what that reminds me of? Standing outside of the house fire. If we switch that sentence up a little bit.
Oh, you mean when you were standing outside?
First. My guys always love to laugh about this one. My first day outside of academy. First day out of academy. I mean, we hit structure fires for the first few weeks, almost every shift out of academy, and we were rocking and rolling for a while. But first day out of academy, about 3 hours in on the job, we're first in on a structure fire. My company officer, we starts going through directions and everything else. We're hopping off the rig. I step off, getting ready to go interior, and he looks over at me. He's like, "All right, Brenneman, stay right here." And the rest of the crew went inside to put the fire out and left me outside. The next truck comes in, and they all go in to start doing some work. And they all look over at me like, "Brenneman, why are you out here?" I was like, I was told to stand in the front yard. this is where I'm standing on day one on the job. Everybody else will go walking past me, going inside to put the fire out. And yeah, my first structure fire is literally left in the front yard, standing like a little puppy, watching everything do work.
Oh yeah, too funny.
Oh man, yeah. So,
but you had many more chances after that. So,
right. I mean, literally like that afternoon. I mean, we were back at it. I mean, it didn't take long, but nobody has ever let me live that down. They was there that day, which is fair, which is probably fair. Every time. Yeah. I mean, as a new guy, I had zero call in it, right? It was my officer that told me to stand there and wait. And so that's what I did. But yeah, after that.
While everybody else played.
Yeah, so never lived it down. So after that, everybody made sure that they invited me and like, hey, Brenneman, you coming in on this one? Okay, come on, let's go.
Too funny.
It's safe. Come on in. But we've been talking a lot about, I mean, it's November, about firefighting in the winter. I mean, because there's firefighters out there that have never fought fire in negative 10-degree weather and 4 feet of snow, and it's brutal. I mean, if we want to be honest, I mean, I remember you'd be happy to go inside and work interior because that was the only place to warm up and melt your gloves back out and that kind of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, once you get wet, there's nothing you can do to stay warm. Nothing.
No. I mean, icicles hanging off your helmet and everything.
Covered in ice. Yeah,
it's brutal.
So what were some? Go ahead.
I said, there's really no happy medium because then in the middle of summer, you're fighting a fire and it's miserable. So I don't think there is really any kind of happy medium.
No, in Iowa, it's about a 2-week period where it might be like 50 degrees outside. That's the perfect window because you come outside, it's nice and cool. And so you're looking for that. But what else? I mean, the fire service has changed a lot since you came on board. I mean, we were talking about how you went through academy. Yep. I mean, when did you go through academy?
Our academy was a month long on days. That kind of taught you the basics of, handling hose and spraying water and the tools and that. And then the probationary period for a year, and then they put you out at station with an officer for that year. And every month you'd have a topic to study, test to take.
Okay.
And do the performance, ladders 1 month, hose handling another, right up through the year. So you kind of learn it as you go.
Did you have a good first officer out the door?
Yeah, I had a great officer out the door, the patient, and learn the ins and outs. And, from the older guys have been there forever and kind of some of their tricks of the trade as you go.
Yeah, because there's a difference between what the books say to do versus what actually works, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I was telling Eric too, when I started in 1980,
right?
And women in the fire service were not a big deal or a big thing at that point. You know what I mean? They really weren't there.
And to the point that the buildings weren't even.
No, the buildings were not designed for women. Had one restroom in them. No, the bunk quarters were not designed for women either. I mean, there was like a dormitory or bedrooms, 3 or 4 beds in it, wide open. So that's all changed now.
Yeah, right. And I mean, and that's one of the things too, is that the fire service, as slow as it is to progress, women are still not nearly the same proportion as men in the fire service at this point, but that is changing very quickly. I mean, I come to these conferences and see many, many more women in the fire service, which is fantastic because they bring a different perspective as well, right? I mean, at this point, it's the candidate physical ability test, so everybody passes the same test, but just different lens, different perspective, different thought patterns. So that's also part of what's helping change and move the fire service in a different direction too. So it's good progress. So a question from a 6-year-old: is it scary to climb the big ladders?
It can be scary. Yeah. It takes a while to kind of get used to them.
Yeah.
Because they go way up in the air, especially the aerial ladders. But you kind of get a hang for it after a while. It's scary to start with.
Yeah. I mean, it's, if you have a healthy respect of heights, the ladders can definitely be an interesting experience, but you learn to just focus on one step at a time and you get the job done. There's a video out there or a picture out there. I think you might know what it might still even be on the wall of the firehouse. I don't know.
Are you talking about the one where your eyes are about this big?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. That's the first thing that came to mind.
For those that are listening at home, there's a picture on the wall of us doing high angle rope rescue, and I learned to become more have a better reaction to my respect of heights over the years. You just learn to deal with it, as Neil said and Dad said. But there's a picture out there of one of the first times of us doing a rope evolution at about 130 feet in the air. I'm laying in this rope basket, and my eyes are as big as saucers. I mean, it's like, what the hell did I just get myself into?
All you see is eyes and teeth. That's it.
Yeah, right. And then we've got a 4-year-old that wants to know if you've ever saved a cat out of a tree. And I know that a lot of people will say no, because there is this misnomer that firefighters save cats out of trees, because here's the running joke: you've never seen a dead cat in a tree either. They always find their way down. But
I did save a guy from a bridge once.
You saved a guy from a bridge once, and what were your words of wisdom to him as you're ready to save him?
You know what? I think that someone with the initials JK might, last name Kirkman, might have blew that way out of proportion. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure in the heat of the moment I did not say, "Come on me nicely." I'm pretty sure that did happen. I'm gonna have to rewatch the tape, but yeah, I don't think that happened.
Yeah, I told another grown man to come on you nicely as you're hanging from a rope. So
and that was not at a concert.
And it wasn't at a concert in Daytona Beach. So who knows what happened there? I actually did save a cat from a tree when I was in the volunteer fire department that I was on before the department I was on with you professionally, Neil. It was just one of those service calls. The neighbor found a cat in a tree, and it was a smaller volunteer fire department, and they're like, what the hell? We need some ladder practice and stuff. And so we actually did go pull the cat out of the tree. But I'll tell you what, the cat was not happy to be pulled out of the tree. It was very, very comfortable hanging out up there. Sure. And so through structure gloves and through bunker coats, still got scratched up from that cat.
I bet.
Yeah. They wanted to be
like
there.
You said, you don't see any skeletons up there, so it'll get down.
No. I took a cat or two out of the homes, but they get scared when you pull them out of a house that's been on fire. They're scared to death, and they'll claw and bite.
Yeah. I mean, and I hate to say it, but the animals are typically smarter than the people. I mean, the animals
will get out.
Yes, they'll either find a way out or find a safe spot in the house. It's the people you have to worry about running back in and running back out and that kind of stuff. I mean, the animals. Yeah. They've got a stronger survival.
It's that occasional fire where the people say, "Well, my dog's still inside," so you go back in to try and find the animal for them.
Fire chief out of Wisconsin says it's not so much about saving cats from the trees anymore; it's about saving drones from the trees nowadays. You have seen the drones stuck in the trees.
You might have lost one of those before, didn't you?
I was so excited about getting that drone, my very first drone of my life. I thought I was going to be a great drone pilot, and you have to have failures before you have successes in life. So, I mean, that's a good lesson for the kids, the 4s and the 6-year-olds that are out there listening to this, is you're going to have failures in life. And so I'm so excited on the first night that I get my first little drone. It's not a professional drone by any means, but it was the first one that I had gotten. I'm an adult at this point. Let's put that caveat out there. I took that thing outside onto my back deck on a pitch black night because I just opened the box. I was thrilled, hit one button, and that drone took off straight up in the air and never saw it again. It was just gone into the wilderness. And I was crushed, actually. I was like, oh, my goodness. I loved my drone but I set it free. And if it was true love, it would come back. And apparently it wasn't true love because that thing never came back. So I ended up with a nicer drone after that. So,
funny.
Funny. What is the weirdest call? Any bizarre calls? Weird stuff. Oh, look, you got three guys stumped here. 6-year-old.
No.
So, all right.
So not the department I'm currently on. This just literally happened yesterday, I think it was. There was a service call for one of the departments, and those could be anything from tripping detectors to I'm locked out of the house to anything like that. So I'm listening to the radio, and the update came in. The woman needed help putting her slippers on. I kid you not. I kid you not. So
she's
lights and sirens all the way.
It's like all right, yeah. So I mean, people, if they don't know who to call, they literally call the fire department, regardless of the situation.
It's like, who else are you going to call?
Ghostbusters, clearly, right? I mean, So and there's, oh man, they were slippery. Yeah, the slippers were slippery. And that's what's crazy, right? And I tell people all the time is that we in the fire service have to go when people call. I mean, we don't have the option of deciding not to go. Like, oh, somebody else should really help this woman put her slippers on. But I don't know. Remember when we had to save the cops one night? I had to save VCR equipment from a storm drain. We got called to a park for a special assignment. There's always the special assignment calls that are always like, what are we getting ourselves into? And PD had chased this guy that had stolen some, like, no joke, it was like digital recording equipment. It was like VCRs, but they thought it was going to have some valuable information on it or something. And this guy had chucked it into a storm sewer, like as far as he could get it back in there. And the storm sewer was just big enough that a guy my size could get in there. Not most of the guys on the fire department, but I was good at the confined space calls for my size. And so crawled on my belly up into that storm drain as far as you could go. I mean, and then had a hook and pulled a VCR out, and then there was nothing on it for the cops to actually check out. There's nothing in it. They just some guy had stolen a VCR. It's like awesome. So yeah, chasing crawling through storm drains.
Yeah.
What's the longest it's taken you to put down a fire from another 4-year-old? Man, we are catering to the youngins today.
Ask that 4-year-old if they can come up with a jingle for us, because we haven't got any of those yet either.
Oh, we still haven't gotten a jingle. We need a jingle. Towns, who's 4.
My junk drawer is getting full, so
yeah. Longest it took. Well, that mulch fire for our fire department took days. I mean. So in our fire department, we're not a wildland fire department. So like the wildland fires can roll for months out in like California, Washington, Seattle, right? But on our fire department, the longest one we had was a mulch processing place, and the piles of mulch started on fire and lasted for 4 or 5 days, right? In January,
we had one very similar. In our community they buried mulch, and then they put a ball diamond over the top of it, but it was near some railroad tracks, and a train went by and threw off some sparks. It started the mulch underneath the ground on fire, and this burned for weeks.
Holy smokes!
Trying to put it out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mulch is tough because it's days to weeks on our departments. And then Tallulah 6. Are any of your fire friends afraid of heights? Yes. The quick answer to that is yes. And I'll be honest, when I first started it, I reframed it to saying that I had a healthy respect for heights. But then when you do this job and do this work, you have to learn to handle that fear and just kind of, again, continue on with the actions that make it like a checklist. Okay, I have to do this and then that and then this and then that. And by the time you're done going through that checklist, you realize that the event is already over and it's okay. And so you can work through that fear in that kind of process. But yeah, the answer is
that's what it's all about. Just working through it, and know that the people that are with you and around you are not going to let anything bad happen to you. So they will have your back all the time. And as long as you have that in the back of your head, you'll be all right in any situation you get put in.
It's always a team effort for everything.
Yeah. And so now you and I, Neil, we're both on our high angle rescue team. We were part of our technical rescue team. And so we would train on our ropes and stuff, because training on the ropes would give you much more confidence in the equipment and the gear and your ability. And so it comes down to most things in life that the first few times you do it, you are going to be afraid because you don't know what to expect. But if you train and practice, it does definitely get easier. So,
definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. 66-year-old asks if,
is that what that 66 means? Is that what we're doing with the numbers there?
I guess that's what we're doing with the numbers.
Okay.
It's working. It's working for us. So the 66-year-old wants to know when you and I, when the fire department, we're not going to put the fire department out there, but if we're going to put out a calendar.
Remember that one time someone thought it was a good idea to have a bachelor auction to raise some money
at Rock Bottom?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was back in the day. We actually did a quote unquote bachelor auction. Nothing too crazy happened, but it was a fundraiser for.
it was very interesting.
It was a fundraiser where the single guys could volunteer to be auctioned off to the community, and like do help with like community service and that kind of stuff, go rake leaves. But somebody was bidding on you for some hours of your time. So what happened whenever whoever bid on you for a couple hours of your time, I guess that's neither here nor there. What happens after the bachelor auction stays after the bachelor auction.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Have you ever been down here to Daytona Beach?
Who, me?
Yeah.
As a kid, I remember family took a road trip, and my mom had friends that lived in Fort Lauderdale. So I think Fort Lauderdale is just south of you, right? So I'm pretty sure we went up to Daytona Beach. I mean, I'm like a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, so I probably really wouldn't appreciate it as if I was a teenager, but yeah.
Oh no, it makes more sense now as to your preference in like bikini styles. I understand now.
yeah. And a 24-hour straight through car ride, that was brutal.
Yes. From Chicago area down to here, right?
Yeah.
Well, we did those as a kid too. From Iowa down through Illinois, Kentucky, Georgia. Yeah. We'd roll out in the evening. Oh, here, get this. This is also a sign of the times. So kids, don't try this at home. Earmuffs. When we were kids, we would minivan it down here, but it was in the time where you could take the back seat of the minivan out, and we'd put like a single mattress in, and we would just like sleep our way through the trip in the back of that minivan on that mattress, playing cribbage, listening to music, playing games. You can't do that anymore. I mean,
riding in the back of pickup trucks and
I mean, parents would be sent to child protective services now.
Yeah, people frown upon that stuff now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. Even listen, he was the one that put me in the back of the minivan, and now I've been down here watching the grandkids, and the grandkids are buckled in and seatbelted in like they're going on a riding around in like an Indy car. It's like, what? We used to be rolling around on the mattress in the back seat.
Yeah, I remember me and my brother and sister, when my dad would pick us up, he'd pick us up in his work van. Okay, so there's no seats in his work van. It's full of tools. So wherever you found a spot in the back with all these projectiles, and if something happened, someone would sit on a toolbox, someone would actually sit on the floor, someone would sit on a 5-gallon bucket, and it was just like that's how it was,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. God forbid we would get into an accident because
because a circular saw was flying.
Exactly.
Yeah. A couple of questions in as we're already moving into that 30-minute mark, which is great. I mean, this is crazy how fast it goes every week. And I hope people that listen along at home, I feel the same way, that this just flies by. But Neil, where would you live if not in Iowa or Chicago?
Mexico.
That'd be a choice.
It will happen. Somewhere around Cancun, somewhere around. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna buy me a condo. Definitely.
You go down there. You go down there a couple times a year already, so you've got this area scouted out.
Oh yeah. So definitely, it'll happen.
Yeah,
it'll
awesome.
happen.
Cool. And then what do you miss most about the fire service, since you're going to basically be our closing statement? Neil and I get to do this every week.
I miss the most? Well, I miss the guys and the camaraderie, but I also miss the fact that you get to help somebody on their worst day and make it better for them in some fashion.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful experience, right?
It is. Yeah. When you help somebody out.
Yeah. And I mentioned that on one of the first couple episodes is like, we are there on somebody's worst day.
Yes.
So, just to make that difference in someone's life or just make it a little bit better for them. Yeah, it's
right. Yeah.
And honestly, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast, right? Is that camaraderie and brotherhood is strong and it's thick. And so Neil had this idea like, hey, why don't we just get together and shoot the breeze like we do at the firehouse, but record it and put it out on the internet, because I would imagine that there's other firefighters like you that were on the job before, or like us that are on the job now, that will definitely resonate with this message, with this concept. And it almost helps them feel like, oh, they're back connected, because as we're talking through, you can laugh along with the stories, because it's going to spawn a thought that you had or something like that. So we're actually building a little bit of a cool community where we can pull folks back together that do miss that brotherhood kind of virtually, which is pretty cool.
Yep, that's very cool.
Yeah, because when I first brought up the idea, I was like, all right, think of some stories to share. And he's like, oh, I mean, I started to poke and give him some cueing questions a little bit, but then as our conversation has rolled along, I can tell that like some stories and memories are coming back, and that you could share it and stuff like that. So that's what's pretty cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
All righty, man. We've got we're going to be back next week, right?
Next week it's every week. So keep posted. Make sure you spread the word of our educational podcast here, and make sure you share and like it. And
where can they find us? They can find us everywhere these days. Spotify, YouTube, Apple, iTunes.
Yeah. So there's no reason not to watch or listen. No excuses.
None. No, and I've even heard people say they listen to us in their cars, which is cool, right? We've become that podcast that somebody just turns on the radio
Yep. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, respectful of everybody's time. Neil, brother, love you. Dad, love you.
Love you, brother.
It's good stuff.
All right, man. Nice talking to you guys.
All right.
Nice talking to you.
We'll see you next week, Neil.
All right.